So the first form of petrissage we're going to look at today is called a kneading technique. This is a technique you'll be using to start spreading tissues out, reducing tension in muscle groups. It's also going to induce a bit more blood flow into tissues, so we're going to start getting that high pre-movement response which we expect from sports massage techniques. So kneading can use a number of different applicators. We're going to look at 5 in particular. So it's going to be deeper, it's going to be slower than effleurage, and it's going to be working more cross-fibre rather than longitudinally. So the first technique with regard to petrissage, kneading technique, is going to be using our palmar surface. So you can see we're running up still in line with venous return, but at the top of the stroke, we're then taking our hand going cross-fibre. So we're going through that medial gastroc head just to start separating fibres and really sort of inducing a much deeper relaxation into the muscles. And it's going to start breaking tissues down and relaxing tissues off. So again, with regard to posture, pressure's over the top of the tissue. We're not working with bent elbows, we're working over the top of the muscle and using our body weight rather than just our triceps and biceps to reduce tension. If you want to work into more lateral tissues, then again, you can either tuck your elbow in towards your side. Same technique, you've got control of the limb by adding rotation with the ankle at the top here. And then when we get towards the top of the technique, again, we're moving cross-fibre with our palmar surface to start causing the response we want from the tissue. So that's a kneading technique using our palmar surface. If we want to make it a bit more specific, then we can use a smaller applicator, which could be our thumb. But with thumbs, we've got to be a bit more conscious and careful we're not moving into hyperextension. So when you're using your thumb for a kneading technique, just ensure that it's nice and flat over the muscle belly, and then with your opposing hand, just have your pisiform over your thumb, really clasp your wrist with your fingers, and then your applicator is going to be your thumb, but my left hand will be the applicator applying pressure. So same movement, same direction of travel, but because it's a smaller applicator, that pressure is going to be a bit more concentrated and it's going to feel a bit deeper and perhaps a tiny bit more tender for your patient. If you want to get even deeper, then you can use your knuckles. With knuckles, then you might lose a bit more palpation because they're not as sensitive as your hands would be, but a good way to get a bit deeper if you need to. So when using knuckles, I'm going to lower the couch very slightly and just get my body in position. So knuckles in contact with the limb, and then just take that movement upwards. And when you get towards the area of tension, you're going to take that cross fibre over the top. And we can continue that lower down through the tissue. So our movement's still back in line with venous return, but we're going cross fibre when we get towards areas of tension. And our final form of kneading is a technique called open C that's much more lighter, it's much more superficial, and it's good for things like pre-event massage where we're trying to separate tissues away from each other. And so in terms of posture, it should be a nice wide stance and your hands are going to be moving in opposing directions. So with my finger pads, I'm lifting up the muscle belly, separating gastrocs and lifting off soleus. And so as that hand travels up, it's then moving through finger pads that way. That hand's travelling down and doing the same thing in the opposing direction. So you can see we're really kneading through the muscles, lifting the tissues up with that open C technique. So my pressure's coming with my finger pads and also my thumb, but it can be done really quickly for things like pre-event massage, or it can be done nice and slowly just to help the patient relax and separate tissues away from each other. So in summary, our 4 different types of kneading techniques are going to be using our palmar surface, which is good to have a broad applicator on a tissue. If you want to make it a bit more specific, you can use a reinforced thumb to apply a bit more localized pressure. We can also use knuckles to get a bit deeper into soft tissues. And our final one was the open C technique, which has got a number of different reasons why you want to use that for things like pre or post-event massage.